Hello, I'm Juan Davies, Chief Creative Officer at KCET and PBS SoCal, and I'm joined by the newsroom of KPCC and LAist on a daily reporter roundup. How is everyone today?
Well, thank you.
Well, reforms are coming to the LAPD. Last night, Mayor Garcetti promised concrete changes to the LAPD and how it operates. Frank, you know all about this.
Well, we know the biggest part of the proposal is probably the shifting of $100 to $150 million from the LAPD to social service programs in communities of color. It's unclear exactly where the cuts will come from. Black Lives Matter says the cuts are not enough, though, that the department still eats up half the general fund part of the budget. Councilman Marquise Harris Dawson argues fewer police are needed anyway during the pandemic, so he's perfectly comfortable with the cuts. The mayor also said he now supports the creation of an independent prosecutor to handle police misconduct cases. DA Jackie Lacey has been criticized for prosecuting too few officers. And there's talk of more de-escalation training. But civil rights attorney Connie Rice says this is not a training issue, but a mission issue. And that the mission of the LAPD and really all cops needs to shift from suppression and containment of communities of color to more partnership policing. And she says the approach to these traumatized poor neighborhoods needs to be holistic and include lots of social services.
Today, Emily tracked down Police Chief Moore to ask him for his response to these reforms.
Yeah, so I talked to Chief Moore outside of a historic Black church in LA. He had just wrapped up a meeting with elected officials and law enforcement about the protests in this current moment. And he said, quote, "I'm very concerned about the proposed budget cut." He is welcome to discuss it, but he says he wants to review his entire budget first so he can understand those numbers before taking into a definitive position on yes or no on the cuts. He said, "My first reaction is not to discount or throw away the budget cut," but basically said that he would welcome conversation around the issue.
In the backdrop of these protests, we still do have a pandemic and coronavirus cases continue to rise. Jackie's been following that.
Yeah, cases in California this week are up by about 40% from 2 weeks ago. Los Angeles County easily has the most cases we have for weeks. We tallied almost a 21% increase in cases from just last week. That's according to data from the county's public health department. One more number for you. On average, health officials are reporting 1,300 new cases every day in LA County. So despite concerns over the spike in cases, efforts to monitor the outbreak could be blunted by the testing facilities that have closed or modified their hours due to the widespread protests over the death of George Floyd. At least 20 of the 30 testing sites overseen by the city and county of Los Angeles have been affected. So, why are we reopening with so many more cases? Well, health officials say that deaths and hospitalizations are down, so it's safe to lift those restrictions. That could change, though, if the hospitals become overwhelmed.
And finally today, the KPCC and LAist newsroom are launching a project we're calling Race in LA, which is asking people to share their lived experience of race in Los Angeles. And our data editor, Dana, has been working on her essay.
So I have to say, I was hurting like a lot of people have been here in the city. And as a Black woman, as a journalist, as a Black woman married to a white man, I found myself really, really struggling with the events of the past couple of weeks and really the past couple of months, with the death of Ahmaud Arbery, with the bigotry of Amy Cooper, and most recently with the death of George Floyd. And I just needed an outlet, a catharsis, a way to really express my feelings and kind of put them out to the world and maybe hope that I could help someone else by expressing how I felt.
Well, thank you, Dana, and please make sure to read and look into the project Race in LA that Dana is putting together. And thank you all at the KPCC and LAist newsroom. Thank you for tuning in. Take care of your family, your health, your neighbor, and we will see you tomorrow.